Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Final series with the Toronto Blue Jays are in the books for the Baltimore Orioles, who finished the season series going 10-3 with the Blue Jays. Let's get right into this final series. Third to last game being the first game of the current series, or however. This was Tuesday night, right? What the hell days are? Right, they had a day off Monday. Tuesday night, they did lose this game, but they won the next two, so it's okay. These things happen. Toronto Blue Jays 6, Baltimore Orioles 3, 10 innings. Bullpen kind of let us down again. Floodgates opened. That is to be expected sometimes anyway. That is kind of why MLB decided to place a runner on second. Lefty on the mound, so it's Rutschman, then Mountcastle, then Henderson. Yeah, Kikuchi pitched. Rutschman 2 for 5. Mountcastle 0 for, which is surprising because usually he is great against the Blue Jays. Maybe it's more in Toronto. Henderson 1 for 5. Hayes 1 for 5 with an RBI. Westberg 2 for 5 with an RBI. McCann 1 for 3. O'Hearn pitch hit late. Did not get a hit. Mullins 0 for. McKenna 1 for 4. Mateo 1 for 4. So there were a few hits there, just really couldn't get anybody going. They did score 3 runs, but one of those I think was due to an error, so nobody got credit with an RBI. Hayes, Rutschman, Westberg doubles. Mateo, Rutschman, and Henderson stolen base. Yes, that is right. Rutschman, so excited seeing Mateo steal bases, thought he'd give it a shot himself. And, well, he did. No, but it really is nice to see Mateo in the lineup more and actually getting on base and stealing bases. Was this the day he stole home? I swear he stole home. I don't remember what day that was. No, I don't even remember play-by-play. Yeah, belt homer. That's right, I guess he stole third, and on the throw, he advanced home. That's why nobody got an RBI. That's right. Okay, that's what it was. Rutschman was on first, Mateo was on second. They did a double steal. And Davey Jansen threw to second base because trail runner, further for him to go. It's also the catcher, so he's slower. Mateo's very fast, so kind of hard to catch him. But throw went out in the center field, so Mateo was able to come home. One, that's how it's not an RBI, and that is how Rutschman got his stolen base. All right, so back to it. But again, it's when you get a guy like a Mateo on base, it's going to enhance your game, your offensive game, because it adds another dimension. It's not just hitting, it is running the bases, and then therefore your speed on the bases as well. Grayson Rodriguez pitched this game. Not as great as his previous outings, but 6 innings pitched that's a lot. 3 runs, sure, you don't really like the 3 runs, but 3 runs over 6 innings ain't bad, man. I mean, your offense has got to step it up a little more. Did give up 8 hits? As I said, 3 runs. Only walked 2, which is pretty good for 6 innings. Especially for Grayson Rodriguez. Very young pitcher, so it's nice to see that. 5 strikeouts. Here we go, Webb again. Kevin Brown said something on the broadcast. It was like he's been on the roster for like 13 games and he's pitched in 10 of them. It is a little bit about how Webb throws the ball. He is a little more sidearm, so there's a little bit less stress there. He doesn't throw that hard, so again, a little less stress on his arm. He is mainly of an off-speed pitcher kind of guy. So, because of the it's not necessarily low stress on his arm. Less stress on his arm than, let's say, Batista throwing over the top. So he can go multiple days. Webb goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 1 hit, but he does get 2 outs, one of those being a strikeout. Perez, because the lefty came up, went right to Perez. So this is 7th inning, so it's late in the game, and the game is very close. Comes in, gets his 1 out of the 7th inning, strikeout. Very good to see. Cano, so, I mean, pretty good. You got your, I don't know if say 4 best. We'll see when Coulomb comes back who's your best lefty reliever, but this does seem to be 4 of your top back end guys. At least the way that Perez, and yes, to a certain extent, Cano has been turning things on lately. Cano, 1 inning pitched, did give up a hit. No runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Batista did pitch 1 inning, didn't get any strikeouts, which is odd. Didn't give up a hit or a walk or a run. Just weird to see Felix Batista pitch an inning and get no strikeouts. Very weird. But in the end, Baltimore was not able to do anything, so didn't really want to. Brandon Hyde didn't want to pitch Felix more than 2 innings and potentially lose him for the rest of the series. So Mike Baumann came in to pitch the 10th inning. Does pitch 1 full inning, gives up 2 hits, 3 runs. Only 2 of them earned, because one was the extra runner placed out there. So was it Belt that hit a 3-run home run? Oh no, it was Guerrero. Guerrero hits a home run. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. That was doubles. Yes, Belt. Brandon Belt hit the home run off of Baumann to essentially win the game for the Blue Jays. Baumann did get a strikeout. Sadly, because of how much Baumann has pitched this year, he has been sent down to AAA. Pretty much the same reason that Tyler Wells, coming up on that time where he's at his career, not necessarily limit, but coming up on the most innings he's ever pitched in his career. So kind of try to hit the pause button. He's sent down in the minor leagues more for a rest than anything. As far as time frame, I'm not sure when this all actually went down. Coulomb is back. Voth is back. Can't remember. The bullpen is kind of shaken up right now. One, because we got actually 2 of them, right? Because Coulomb and Voth are back from at least as of now, are both back from the injured list. Let's get on to game 2. Much better pitched game this day. Toronto Blue Jays get 0 runs. Baltimore Orioles get 7. Righty on the mound, so Rutschman Henderson. Rutschman 1 for 5, 2 RBIs. Henderson 1 for 5. Santander 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. McKenna defensive replacement. Didn't get in at bat. Mountcastle 1 for 3. Did walk once. O'Hearn 2 for 4. Hayes 1 for 3. Mullins 0 for. Westberg 1 for 4. Urias 1 for 4. Hayes Henderson doubles. Santander 2 times home run. it does seem to be a trend with Santander. You get to this point in the year, and I don't know if some pitchers are getting tired or if he's just getting started. He goes on a bit of a tear around this time of the year, and couldn't have happened at a better time. Close out the season series with the Blue Jays with a bang. Dean Kramer started this game. Fantastically pitched game by Dean Kramer, which he was actually not scheduled to start. Jack Flaherty was scheduled to start this game, and they're not really telling exactly what, but Flaherty doesn't feel right. So, if I understand what I've read, he's essentially been skipped in the rotation. Most likely, it'll be until his next turn comes, and he may take his turn. Who knows yet? Like I said, they're not exactly telling us exactly what's wrong with Jack Flaherty. Dean Kramer goes 6 innings, gives up 5 hits, no runs, no walks. That might be the no runs and the no walks is fantastic. 5 strikeouts. Wonderfully pitched game. Again, here's Jacob Webb. Wow. Are going to need to give him a break. What about 6 days? 6 days should be time for September call-up, so hopefully have a few more options in the bullpen, and he won't be pitching as much. Webb goes 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Cano in again. Orioles did kind of break it open in the 5th inning. So you had guys like Webb, not the 5th inning, 5 runs in their half of the 8th. So Webb in the 7th, Cano in the 8th. We're planning on it being closer, but it ended up not being. So Cano got his inning pitched and a hold. Webb also gets a hold. 1 inning pitch for Cano. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Fujinami, very low leverage situation here. Really what Brandon Hyde is looking to get Fujinami into, which makes perfect sense. Get him into these low leverage situations and get him to stack good outings after good outings after good outings. Hopefully build his confidence, build his consistency. Then you can put him in a little more high leverage situations, which is how you typically want to do things in general. Fujinami pitches the 9th inning, no hits, no runs, no walks. That's good. 3 strikeouts, even better. I don't know, man. Tonight was just their night. Oh, and Kevin Gausman, former Oriole, started the game for the Toronto Blue Jays that night. So, yeah, definitely was the Orioles' night. Last night was fairly the same, though they did give up a few runs to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays 3, Orioles 5, and this was the final and 13th game of the season series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles. So, unless the Blue Jays get in the playoffs and the Orioles are scheduled to meet them, we will not see the Toronto Blue Jays again this season. All right, Rutschman, Henderson, like always, getting used to it. It does make sense. There are definitely some of the better hitters in your lineup. As far as on base percentage, and then you get into, some of the big thunder like Santander, Mountcastle, and O'Hearn driving them in. Don't have too much speed, but our speed guys like Mullins and Mateo don't have that good on base percentage, at least as of right now. Rutschman 3 for 4. Henderson 1 for 4 with an RBI. Santander 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Mountcastle 0 for, which, did Mountcastle even get a hit? He did. He got 1 hit. Wow. It's almost like the Toronto Blue Jay pitchers were so focused on getting Ryan Mountcastle out that they forgot to get everybody else out, which might be why Santander hit so many home runs. He hit 3 home runs this series. He's hit in front of Mountcastle for the most part anyway. He's getting more pitches in the zone, right? Because that's the idea. If Mountcastle's in your 4-hole, you have the 3-hole hitter at the plate. You want to be in the zone, because if he walks because you didn't throw him any strikes, then he's on base for the guy that's mashing. So, and the same thing happened in Bonds and, Judge and other hitters. The guys in front of them tend to get better pitches to hit because you don't want to give them a free pass. But Mountcastle 0 for, O'Hearn 0 for, which is shocking, but happens, I guess. Hayes 1 for 3, Mullins 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Nice to see him get going. Urias 0 for 3, Frazier 1 for 2, Westberg pinch hit late, did not get a hit. Mullins double, Mullins home run. It's a laser shot. I don't even think that the ball got out of there so fast, I don't think it had enough time to rise and then fall. It just straight line. A little bit of an over-exaggeration, but it did kind of look like that. Santander hit one out on the Utah Street. That ball was absolutely crushed. It sounded crushed and it looked crushed. I'm actually surprised it didn't hit the warehouse. It was a little bit more towards right center field. If you had pulled it more, probably would have hit the warehouse. But anyway, go check out that placard on Utah Street next time you're there. Kyle Gibson. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, here's Kyle Gibson, and it's like the 8th inning. You're like, he's still out there? What is that? It was very weird. Like the first 2 or 3 innings, Gibson got through with like 9 pitches. So weird. They were really jumping on him early in the count. And that is why you see the 3 runs there. When was this? This was like the 4th or 5th inning, right when the lineup flips over and they start seeing Gibson for the second time. Like to call it an ambush. I'm like, I don't really ambush, but you're throwing pitches and not expecting hitters to swing. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but however. But he was able to gather himself, and because he didn't throw that many pitches going through the first part of the lineup, he pitched 8 innings, but only threw 95 pitches. So Hyde was asked after the game if he even considered letting Gibson go out for the 9th, and he said no, Felix was ready, so Felix was coming in. Gibson, 8 innings pitched. 6 hits. Isn't bad for 8 innings. 3 runs, which also isn't bad for 8 innings. 1 walk, which is fantastic for 8 innings. 8 strikeouts, which is... wow. I mean, it's a lot because nobody really thinks of Kyle Gibson as a strikeout pitcher, yet seems to be getting a lot of them this year. Not 100% sure why. Hitters just being too aggressive, I guess. Or perhaps good game planning on your pitch selections. Batista comes in the 9th inning, gets a save. Another outing for Batista with no strikeout. It's kind of weird. Not 100% sure why. He did spike a few balls. It's almost like he was trying to throw his fastball down in the zone, and because he's so tall, it's so much harder for him, he was less accurate with it. It's very odd to see him spike a ball, or pitcher in general, spike a 4-seam fastball in front of home plate. But it's what happens when, you're 6'8" or 9 or however, and you come straight over the top, like straight over the top. so the ball is more than 10 feet in the air. Potentially, it isn't a great thing because you would like him to throw his four-seam fastball at multiple levels. It's a Jim Palmer thing. If you watch Oriole broadcasts, you know Jim Palmer always talks about changing the hitter's eye level, and it's true. But, I mean, you got the outs, so it's not that bad. Mullins had a great catch in one of these games. I don't remember. Was it this one? I want to say it was last night. Mullins had a great catch running to his left, so right center field. I don't know if it would have made it out. It was close, but running from his spot to right center field, flagging that ball down. Actually, might have been the game before. Last night was the throw. The ball hit, let's say left. Excuse me. Ball hit the left center. Can't remember who hit it. It was right around the corner. I forgot. What are we calling that corner? I don't remember. Little corner that sticks out where the bullpen is. Hayes went over to try to catch the ball. It was kind of wonky play. Mullins even said it in his post-game interview that the play was kind of weird. Hayes misses the ball. It bounces off. Mullins, being the good defender he is, was there backing up. And even when Mullins tried to pick it up, he picked it up and it just rolled out of his glove. Luckily, it went towards third base. Who was it running? Was it Danny Jansen again? I think it might have been Jansen. So, with the ball rolling towards third base, Mullins picks it up, and yes, he is from left center, and just throws a laser to third base. And I'm watching, I see it, and I just, Brandon Hyde even mentioned it was the best throw of Mullins' career. If you are an Orioles fan, and I get that not everybody is, because you're all over the place, Cedric Mullins has never, ever been known for his arm strength. Accuracy, sure. Arm strength, no. As far as arm strength goes, he's one of the weaker starting center fielders in Major League Baseball. Of course, you never would have known that by watching that play. Now, yes, it did bounce, but, I mean, a straight laser beam from left center field, one hop, like right in line with Ramon Arias. Dead at him, he just snatched it, tagged the guy, bam. Wow. I don't know if he's been working on it. I don't know if it's because the play was so weird. I don't know if because the ball was rolling towards third base, it was a lot easier for him to get his momentum going towards third base. It's potentially what it is. Hopefully he continues to do that in the future. But again, season series with the Toronto Blue Jays is over, and the Orioles won decisively 10-3. All right. Article written yesterday by Rock Kubatko, updating on McCann's hand. Doesn't seem to be anything too bad yet. It's not like his hand is fractured in 7 places and he needs surgery. I'm not seeing any word of that yet. He had a very nasty bruise. You can see it on the broadcast. A very nasty bruise on his hand. This is also the article which they say Flaherty just didn't feel right. So they're giving him extra time. Also mentioned Coulomb and Voth have returned to the bullpen. Check the standings out. It would appear that Tampa Bay was able to sweep their opponent because they did gain a game on the Baltimore Orioles. disappointing. But we were able to put more of distance between us and the Blue Jays, which is very good. And the Yankees are now 5 games under 500 and 18 back, which is fantastic. Almost at 80 wins. And they are good for the second best record in Major League Baseball. All right, let's look at the schedule. Got the Colorado Rockies coming in for a 3-game series. Friday and Saturday games scheduled for 7 o'clock. Sunday game scheduled for 1:30. Then the White Sox coming to town Monday, so no days off for a while. Thursday. Wow. Okay, I mean... Yeah, I mean, straight 9 games, and then, I mean, that's fine. We don't need an off day. We're at home. So, no off day, but... Yes, we're... Okay, that one distracted me. Alright, that is going to do it for this episode of Ryno's Orioles Report. Next show is going to be Monday, and I will talk about the series with the Colorado Rockies. Should be interesting. Don't get to see them too much. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.